Welcome to Strangeville. Welcome to the channel. My name is Kevin Strange, 20-year veteran of the underground. I'm a cartoonist, novelist, and independent filmmaker, and I am here today to share my love of manga with you, gang. I could not let the month of October, Monster Month, get by without talking about Junji Ito, one of the best voices in all of horror, but Japanese manga. His stuff is finally being adapted into anime here in the West, so more and more people are going to know. Like, everybody knows who this dude is. If you don't know who this dude is, you're in for an absolute treat today. But Uzumaki, his which I actually don't own, his like Death Spiral story has recently been adapted. I don't think it's Netflix. I think it's and I don't think it's Amazon. I'm not sure which platform Uzumaki is on, but he does have a Netflix does have a series of short stories. He's mostly known. Junji Ito is a contemporary mangaka, whatever. Roast me in the comments about maybe I'm not even pronouncing his name right. Junji Ito, gang. That's all I know. I've never heard the man speak his name. I've only heard fat weebs say it, and they say Junji Ito. Fat weebs are already going for the dislike button. You just called me a fat weeb. He's mostly known for these short story collections. He writes these. This Smashed is a short story collection. Shiver is a short story collection. He does have longer Tome. Tome? I don't know. You tell me in the comments, gang. I don't speak Japanese. I'm American. I'm from Strangeville. I speak American. This is a giant tome of short stories about this one girl, Tome. That's her on the cover there. And I also have a few of his long form works. Gaio, The Death Stench Creeps. This is a long form story, a couple hundred pages. And I also have Ramina, which I was going to do for October. I was going to do Ramina. It's not that long. It's a crazy cool story. It's a full length. I don't even know if they they don't call them graphic novels. A full-length manga? I guess you just call it a full-length manga. I don't know. I'm not Japanese. You tell me, gang, in the comments. But this is a crazy story about this girl. Her dad's an astronomer. He discovers this new planet. The planet comes all the way up to Earth and opens its eye. They name the planet Ramina. He names the planet Ramina after his daughter. And the Japanese people go fucking crazy when this planet gets close and starts looking at them, and they decide they have to sacrifice Ramina to the planet to get it to go away. It's an awesome standalone full-length manga, but I decided we weren't gonna look at. We'll look at this later. We'll look at Tome later. We're gonna do a lot of Junji Ito on this channel because I'm a big fan. You know me. I like my horror comics, and I don't think there's anybody better doing it today than Junji Ito. But I wanted to look at, this might be I hope this is a little bit of a deep cut for Junji Ito fans that may not be super familiar with this character. And so I wanted to do an episode about this one woman in particular, this reoccurring woman. I believe her name is Miss Fuchi. Fuchi. Miss Fuchi. So I have 3 stories featuring Miss Fuchi, and she is absolutely terrifying. This is the scariest woman in comics, the scariest woman in manga, and we're going to cover 3 stories. Fashion model. What is the second one called Fashion Model Cursed Frame, and then she's at the very end of this crazy haunted house story in Smashed that ties into another set of characters that Junji Ito revisits in his short stories. So we're only going to look at the very end of that story, but there's enough meat here for us to go over and do an episode on Miss Fuchi. As the late great Ed Piskor used to say, this channel is brought to you by the comics that I make. And so it is October. It is Monster Month. And my new comic book piece, Count Kifula, very American. It doesn't get more American than Underground Comics. If you're a fan of Robert Crumb, S. Clay Wilson, Spain Rodriguez, Gilbert Shelton, all those, the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers, if you're a fan of the Crumb stuff, Mr. Wonderful, all that crazy, super, drugs, sex, and violence is the name of the game here in Strangeville, and Count Kifula is chock to the gills, to the point that I can't even show you the interior of this book because it would get me demonetized off of YouTube immediately. So I'm doing a physical copy pre-order. It's a 28-page full-color comic. You get a free 11x17 poster with it. $12 is the pre-order. The link is in the description. That pre-order goes through Halloween, October 31st, which this might be. I might make this the Halloween episode. It might be today. Today might be the cutoff. If you don't get in the link right now and grab the physical pre-order for Count Kifula, a.k.a. Dracula in Strangeville, it's gone. There's no more. I'm not going to do a second printing. I'm going to print up what people order for the pre-order, and then that's it. And there might be a few extras that end up in the web store. I shouldn't even say that because I don't want you guys to wait for it. You're certainly not going to get the free poster if you buy it from the web store. So that's it. Grab your Count Kifula. If you're not a physical collector and you're just curious about what's inside these Strangeville comics, like Too Many Dabs and Death to Strangeville and all my other myriad of comic books, there's a link in the description to my Patreon page where you can read Count Kifula and all of my other comic books, all of my other novels, and you can watch all of my crazy splatterpunk trauma-esque feature films. All my films are distributed through the Trauma Now app, which is like Netflix for sleazy crappy low-budget movies, low-budget exploitation films. All my movies are distributed through Trauma, but you can you can watch them all by just getting that. It's $3 a month for that Patreon. Great value. Not only do you get the brand new comics when they come out, but all the back catalog of comics, novels. Yes, I'm a novelist as well. I'm an award-winning novelist. I was nominated for the Wonderland Award for Excellence in Bizarro Fiction twice. Before the Bizarro Wars, if you're familiar with that. All my novels are available to read digitally at the Patreon. That is $3 a month. The link is in the description. Gain access to 20 years of comics, novels, and feature films from the twisted mind of me, Kevin Strange. That's me. Let's do some shout outs to the current Patreon list and channel members. A channel membership gets you access to all of our videos that we post here on the channel weeks, sometimes months in advance. There's already many videos posted up for November, which isn't impressive if you're watching this on Halloween, but I'm actually recording this on like the 15th, 16th. Is this the 16th? Yeah, I'm actually recording this on the 16th of October, so the fact that I already have November stuff up in the channel member section goes to show that we go way early for channel members. It's a great value. It's $2.99 a month to become a channel member, and then you get access to, because maybe when the channel gets bigger, we're probably not big enough at this point, but when the channel gets bigger, I do something like showing the Miss Fuchi stories in Junji Ito books. Amazon might sell out of those by the time the channel members see the videos, and by the time the videos go public, they might be sold out. I'm not saying we're not at the point yet where that's going to happen. what Ed and Jim on Cartoonist Kayfabe used to call the kayfabe effect. Eventually, this channel is going to get big enough that the Strangeville effect is going to sell these books out on Amazon and and eBay and all that stuff before these videos even have a chance to go to the public. So channel membership is a very good value, I think, for $2.99 a month. Gets you access to all our videos. So let's shout out our patrons and channel members: Savage Splendor, Dark Lord Carrion, 666 Yoshi, Alien on LSD, Joseph Stark, Loud Pack Productions, Dave Baxter, Jason German, Mutant Minds, Joshua Wise, Jeremy Maddox, and our newest patron, Nirvana. Thank you guys for being patrons, and consider becoming patrons yourselves here on the channel. And all that money that comes in through the Patreon and through the channel memberships goes towards upgrades for better cameras, better microphones, better laptops. Still working a pretty low budget affair here, and I want this to be like a pristine. I want to be able to give you guys like perfect quality 4K video with crisp audio and all that stuff, and all the like my intro still jittery because my processing power of my little laptop sucks. So when I go to record and play that intro, it just jitters through it, which sucks. I ain't got the time to go do post-production and add that intro and then process the video and then re-upload. I don't have time for all that. We got to do it live. Fuck it, we're doing it live right here in the camera. That's how I like to do my shit, gang, so I can just upload this video as soon as I finish. So let's get into Miss Fuchi. So the first story that we're going to take a look at today is called Fashion Model. And again, if you're not familiar with Junji Ito, this is an absolute treat for you, gang. This guy is one of the best ink slingers I've ever seen. He captures horror. He captures like creepypasta, as the Zoomers would say, better, I think, than any cartoonist. I don't think he does these like he's able to tap into the fears of the modern mind and create spectacular horror imagery that is super unsettling. Just looking at it for too long will give you the heebie-jeebies, which is hard to do in comics. So this particular story is about a group of low-budget filmmakers who are looking through fashion model magazines, looking for a cast for their low-budget horror film that they are shooting. And our director here, he comes across this hideous woman in a fashion magazine, and he becomes just instantly like fascinated with her. Let's read this. Let's read through a little bit of this. Is it something I can't avoid? I've had a feeling like this several times before, and each time I tried avoiding it, but in the end, I couldn't. All kinds of bad things happen. Getting hit by a car was terrible, but this feeling is a lot worse than the one I had then. I'm just sitting here in this cafe, but the feeling keeps getting worse and worse. He's flipping through the magazine, and then he sees Miss Fuchi. He sees these dead eyes. Oh, she's so unsettling looking. What is this? This woman's a model? I can't believe she's managed to become a model. It's just a regular fashion magazine, right? Why would they use someone like that? All the other models are normal. More. Pictures of her just looking fucking crazy. Look at this one down here. God, look at him. God. This model, she's just so creepy. He throws the magazine down, lights a cigarette, and he's trying to go to sleep, and he can't stop thinking about her face. It's no use. When I close my eyes, that face from this afternoon, it pops up into my mind. Honestly, I shouldn't have looked at that magazine. For some reason, the model's face wouldn't leave my mind even after several days. In fact, the impression of it started to transform in my memory until finally it became something I could barely stand. I've never seen a model like that. Granted, I don't read women's fashion magazines, but are there actually models that creepy? Like, maybe it was just a bad picture. But Oda, she's been gradually transforming in my memory, so that now she's basically a monster. So how about you do this, Awasaki? You go buy the magazine and take a good hard look at that model. You do that and you'll gradually get used to her. Won't bother you once you're used to seeing her. Get real. I don't want to get used to that face. I'm waiting for the memory to fade already. Anyway, haven't you been coming to school lately? But you're still working on the script, right? Moving along on that? No, not at all. What? So that model's really messing you up? We can't make the movie without the script. Don't slack off just because it's for us. If you're not going to do it, I'll ask someone else. We're going to enter this one in a contest, so no, I know. He's trying to work on the script for the low-budget horror movie, and he just can't stop thinking about Miss Fuchi. Junji Ito is the man, dude. He writes incredible short stories, and the long-form stuff that he does are... tell me in the comments, do you just call it a full-length manga? Oh, no, it has a name, doesn't it? Ed used to fucking call him something. He started calling his full-length stuff by the Japanese name. I can't think of it. Tell me in the comments what the name of a full-length manga is. So they start looking, they've got these headshots from these actresses and his whole crew from school that are his filmmaking crew. They're getting together and they're looking at all the different stuff here. Oh, she's good. It's settled then. The poll we have gets quality over quantity. What's wrong, Miyaki? Oh, I was just thinking this is pretty great, like some kind of fateful meeting. Hey, Awasaki, you take a look too? You've been pretty quiet all day. Whoops, we forgot one. And I guess they put a call out for actresses, and so they're looking through the mail. These are the headshots they got in the mail, and then they open up this one. What the hell? And it's fucking Miss Fuchi. She has she sent in her headshot to be part of the movie. Whoa, what is this? Who on earth? And Awasaki sees it. He's like, ah! Awasaki, what's wrong? That's her. The model. What? So this is her then? You're sure you don't have the wrong person? No, there's no mistake. Look, these creepy features. But I don't think a professional model bother with amateurs. I'm sure of it. Seeing her again sends a shiver up my spine. It's like destiny or something. That she would apply for our movie of all things? Maybe she's out of work right now. Okay, so how about we do this? We use the model too. And the pretty girl. What? Quit fooling around, Oda. I mean, come on. You want to put her in the movie? Just listen. If she really is a professional model, then if we have her in the movie, it'll give us a little prestige. I mean, sure, she's creepy, but if you look at it another way, there's not another girl with such an individual look. They're just checking out all her little headshots and shit that she sent in. And if you meet her in person, Awasaki, I think your fear will go away. She's scary in the pictures, but when we meet her and talk to her, she'll just be, regular. And she's even fucking worse in person. Look at her. When she fucking shows up, she's a fucking horror show. She's like 100 feet tall. She's this giant fucking psycho of a woman. You're in the 10th grade, Tame Mori? You're even cuter than your picture. Oh, no. You'll be the protagonist. You'll be playing the heroine. All you have to do is just act naturally. Well, okay. By the way, the other one, she's late, huh? Hey! There she is. Look at this fucking peripheral view of her up here. My name is Fuchi. Nice to meet you, Fuchi. Please have a seat. You're a professional model, right, Fuchi? This guy's name is Awasaki. He's a fan of yours. Oda! She's awful. She's maybe creepier in person than she is in those photos. Look, tell me if you spend more than a minute looking at that face that you don't just become completely unsettled. Junji Ito is a master of horror. Here she is in the car with all the other people. Oh, Lord. So we're not going to, we're not going to sit here and read the entire story, obviously, but look at her fucking teeth when she opens her mouth. She's like a shark. Look at her. She's a fucking monster. He sees it in the rearview mirror. So needless to say, they get out here and they start shooting. They start shooting their fucking movie. And then suddenly people start going missing in the woods. They go looking for him. Miss Fuchi's out there being fucking weird. Starts chasing this dude down. They can't find the lead actress. They go running off into the woods looking for her, and they find Miss Fuchi covered in blood. But where is she? Ah! Ho, 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 ho. I'm the protagonist. Look at her fucking crazy fangs. Look at that face, gang. That's fucking mastery. That is mastery of the macabre. Run! Ho, 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 wait for me! Ah! He's crunching, crunch. Miyaki! Help, help! Ah! Hey, wait up. Ho, ho, ho. We're finally alone together. That's the end. Miss Fuchi's finally got the director alone. What is his name? Iwasaki. And then in this collection, Junji Ito does a little tiny, little factoid thing at the end. And I guess this might have been the first appearance of Miss Fuchi, because he kind of talks about it like that. So let's read the commentary from Junji Ito. I often look at fashion magazines for manga reference, and I always notice just how many types of models there are. In this one magazine I happened to look at, there was a photo of a model who was pretty, but emitted this weird aura somehow, or at least that's what I thought, viewing her through my own subjective lens. So I came up with the idea of a fashion model who's actually a monster. Maybe I should have made her more attractive, but this is the face that I ended up with. I also thought of adding an element of the shark woman to this monster, but it just so happened at that time that there was an incident where a shark attacked a fisherman in the Seto Inland Sea, and everyone was talking about that, so I locked that element away. He says he locked it away, I guess he didn't want to offend people because there had just been a shark attack. He didn't want to make a shark face woman manga, but it looks like a shark face woman to me. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, let me go back to that page where she first bears her fangs. I mean, that looks like a shark woman to me. I don't think he locked that element away at all. I think he locked it in. So she shows up again in another story at the end, which had never been published before this collection, I guess. So this is a bonus story that he created for this collection, this short story collection, Shiver. So this is called Fashion Model Cursed Frame. Look at Miss Fuchi back there. looking all fucking psychotic, looking like a fucking shark. You made the right decision, Amy. It's worth spending all that time. It was worth spending all that time persuading you. This girl's becoming a model here. This is her model agent. You're going to be a hit as a model. I guarantee it. Thank you, but please. I understand we only allow full body shots in fashion magazines, and I'll do everything I can to protect you from the media taking pictures however they like. Ever since I was a little girl, I was afraid of having my picture taken, or more precisely of my body being fragmented by photos. I've lived my life refusing any photos except those that show my whole body. I can't believe someone like me would get scouted as a model. So he gives her this absurd fear. And you gotta know where this is going to lead to. You just gotta know. Well, I'm sure you're anxious about all kinds of things. So let's get to something. Let's get something to eat and talk about what will happen next. Oh, okay. And as they're walking down the hallway, there's this shadowy figure that she walks by. Oh, Amy, let me introduce you. This is one of our established models. Her name is Fuchi. And there she is. Miss Fuchi returns. And look at poor little Amy. She's like, what the fuck? And of course, she can't stop thinking about, I'm a new model. My name's Amy. It's a pleasure to meet you. And Miss Fuchi just, look how much taller she is than both of them. They're about the same height down here. They're about the same height. And Miss Fuchi is just a giant. Maybe it was just my imagination. Show business is not such a kind world that my agency would keep the promise to only take and print full body photos. After about a month of my debut, a knee shot and a waist shot were printed in magazines I was contracted to. No! Mr. Nomura, this wasn't in the contract. Calm down, Amy. The world wants close-ups of you. He was right. A new model couldn't be allowed to refuse anything except full-body shots. That night, I struggled with the conflict. Why was I afraid of anything other than full-body shots to begin with? Was I afraid of part of my body being cut away? But it was just a photographic image, wasn't it? And then, good Lord. Such an unsettling story. I knew it was ridiculous. Did I really want to lose this job over something like that? When I thought about it, of how much of a disadvantage I had put myself up to now because of this phobia. I refused to be in our yearbook. I hadn't been able to put together a resume or get my passport. I'd gotten into fights with friends who took my photo anyway. I had to break free. I had to overcome it. Right. I'll keep doing it. I'll keep modeling. Bam! This girl, I wonder why she's modeling with looks like this. And fucking Miss Fuchi just appears in her fucking apartment looking fucking crazy. With looks like what? What? When did you? This afternoon, popular model Amy was found murdered in her apartment. Her arms and body from the waist down had been severed, and those parts have yet to be found. Additionally, a border had been made with plastic tape, strengthening the opinion that this crime was committed by some degenerate. But we have information that teeth impressions like those of a shark were found on the cross-section, and further investigation is expected. The teeth on her. What a fucking treat. And I don't think there's an afterword on this story. Oh, no. That's just about Junji Ito. Junji Ito made his professional manga debut in 1987, and since then he's gone on to be recognized as one of the greatest contemporary artists working in the horror genre. His titles include Tomei and Uzumaki, which have been adapted into live-action films, Gaio, which was adapted into an animated film, and Fragments of Horror, all of which are available from VIZ Media. Ito's influences include classic horror manga artists Keizu Umezu and Hideshi Hino, as well as authors Yatsuka Tazutsi and H.P. Lovecraft. I do have one of these guys. I forget. I believe it's not Umez. I think it might be Hino. One of those guys made a book called The Floating Classroom, and we'll take a look. We'll take a look at that too down the line here as one of Junji Ito's major influences. So that's the two Miss Fuchi appearances in Shiver, and then we're going to take a look real briefly at her appearance in Smashed, because I can't sit here and tell you all of the craziness that goes on in this haunted house story, because it all links in to other stories featuring these characters. But it is a really cool haunted house. It is a really cool story. And then just to kind of throw some pizzazz at the end, so this is this crazy brother that uses his parents and his brothers and sisters in these horrible, I guess, dream world. I don't know. This is a brother. There's just all kinds of fucking crazy. Look at these. I mean, I could flip through these books and just show you some of the craziest shit you've ever seen if you're not familiar with Junji Ito. But so this evil brother that's terrorizing, I believe these maybe other family members, cousins, I forget. But what ends up happening at the end, they end up outside, and they end up outside. The brother attacks the younger brother attacks the older brother, and this older brother is the one that's been terrorizing everybody with this haunted house. He runs outside and he runs into Miss Fuchi, and it turns out that Miss Fuchi is his wife or girlfriend. Honey, you ran off on me again. I can't forgive you anymore. I'm eating you this time. You look at her fucking head. That's the money shot right there. I mean, that's worth the price of admission alone. And then he wakes up, and he's a little kid. I don't know. I don't know what to say. There's a lot of stories of this little kid and his family, and all kinds of weird shit happens to him. But Miss Fuchi just makes a brief cameo and has one of the coolest fucking pictures I've ever seen in my life. So that's Junji Ito. Hope you guys enjoyed that presentation. Hope I introduced Junji Ito and Miss Fuchi to, maybe if you already were familiar with Junji Ito, maybe you weren't familiar with Miss Fuchi. Maybe you don't have these short story collections. Maybe you've just got like one of the longer books, or the Tomei book, or Uzumaki, or whatever. So yeah, that's Junji Ito. If you've got some Junji Ito that's burning up your collection, you want to get rid of it, you can send that right on. Send all the Junji Ito your little heart desires right on to Kevin Strange, P.O. Box number 5, Cottage Hills, Illinois 62018. If you are a creator and aspire to be the next Junji Ito, you can send your own creations along to Kevin Strange, P.O. Box number 5, Cottage Hills, Illinois 62018 for me to take a look at, like Paul Payne did with these Rambo versus the Blair Witch bootleg comics, which are super, super fucking cool black and white bootleg crazy Rambo stories. Well, I should just finish it now. Well, this world doesn't want me here. I should have died with Baker Team back in with Danforth, Ortega, Mesner, Krakauer, Jurgensen, and Barry.
They're all gone. That's where I should be. Gone. Bloodshed and body bags follow me everywhere. I go, sir. I just can't take this anymore.
Some nice Rambo action. Paul sent me books 1, 2, book 3, and book 4. And he also sent me this awesome Michael Myers versus Jason Voorhees Halloween special from 2023. So if you're a creator and you want to see your stuff get showcased at the end of these videos, like I'm doing with Paul here in a mailbag episode where I showcase a bunch of stuff I get at the P.O. box, and standalone videos of your own, like I did with Rambo versus the Blair Witch, you can find that on the channel here. In October, I did a Rambo versus the Blair Witch episode spotlight on Paul Payne and his book 1, Rambo versus the Blair Witch book 1. So if you are a creator and you are so inclined, send that stuff on and we'll take a look at it here at the channel. I hope I see you guys at the dollar bin. I don't think we'll ever find any Junji Ito in there, but we can all hope. And remember to keep on digging.